We're here today with Steve and Ruth, who are missionaries from Tennessee originally, but they're in the West African country of Nigeria. And Steve, how long have y'all been there?
We've been there 27 years.
That's a long, long time. They met in high school. You said Ruth wasn't sure about the thing until, well, maybe she's still not sure, but y'all have been married how long?
39 years.
39 years. Tell us about the call to missions and what were the hindrances to that? I know there was a big one.
The original call to missions for me came at age 11 at summer Bible camp, and then I started dating this lady when I was 17, and the Lord renewed the call at that point. And so we've known since high school that the Lord wanted us in dental missions. Then you can tell about the hindrance.
We were approximately 3 months from leaving to go to Nigeria for the first time, and our daughter was born, who was severely handicapped. And they gave us the information that she was probably never going to walk or talk or sit, and that's what has happened. She is 27 years old.
Julie.
Her name is Julie.
I've seen
and she
Julie.
goes with us to Nigeria every time that we go. And she's been a big blessing in Nigeria, because in Nigeria people do not know how to handle handicapped children. And so she's been a big ministry, a big blessing to other people there in Nigeria.
I just think it's amazing that with a spinal bifida daughter, you chose to go ahead and go, and that your sending agency was gracious enough to let you go. You prepared by going to dental school. You're a dentist?
I am. And then we went to seminary after that, before we went.
Where did you go to seminary?
Dallas Theological Seminary.
And I guess one of the reasons I thought your testimony was so compelling, you've been coming here for now
15
years off and on when you come back from Nigeria. And you should have picked Switzerland or France or somewhere. Nigeria is not a great place to be, and it probably wasn't 16 years ago either.
No.
But I meet people who feel that they're hindered from doing God's will because they have a rash on their arm or some other, compared to you, more superfluous illustration. And for you guys to go with a handicapped child just was overwhelming. The first time you were here, there were concerns even about your second daughter, that she had a brain tumor. I think that turned out to be not correct.
Right.
But y'all have certainly gone through some things there. Nigeria, dental place, you're not in a city.
We are out in a rural area. It looks like a small town, but there's probably 80,000 people there.
Any dangers there?
A lot. Terrorist activity, kidnappings. There are many problems in the country, so it's always a very stressful place to be.
I would think, and I would think living conditions are not great even when there's not the threat of terrorists.
Right.
I was impressed. You told me that y'all were sort of inspired by your rest time at Whitestone to do some things over there that were similar.
Absolutely.
We've opened a small house that we call Grace Cottage, and the purpose of the house is to minister to missionaries. Because Nigeria is considered to be a hardship field, missionaries often are dealing with fear. They're dealing with difficulties with their relationships with other people. Sometimes they're dealing with having to make hard decisions, and there's not a lot of places where they can go where they can be loved on, where someone can care for them. And so we've created this small cottage, and it's no Whitestone. It's not beautiful, but what we stress is just cleanliness and making sure everything works, because so often in Nigeria our homes aren't very clean, our appliances, the electricity doesn't work, and so we've really strived to make it a place where they can come and immediately feel peace, feel like they don't have to worry about something, And then we've provided them with a lot of different materials to encourage them, to allow them to study, to do things with the Lord, hopefully so that they will go back to their ministries renewed and ready to work again.
How's that working? Are you getting quite a bit of use of the cottage?
It's busy almost every weekend that we're in the country, and sometimes we have 2 or 3 people during the week.
There actually been 4 missionary rest houses that have been inspired by Whitestone, and Grace Cottage being one of those. You said
Right.
you kind of got the idea here.
Right.
And there's 3 already built and 1 being built. But we appreciate your visits through the years. You guys are my heroes. I'm just amazed that you go to Nigeria and do what you do. I know you've got some possible visa problems going back in, and
Right.
but you're committed to staying in missions.
We are. We're committed to the Lord and whatever direction He takes us. And if that's in Nigeria till retirement, then we will be in Nigeria. If not, we will be where He wants us to be.
In some other bad place. So, they're probably not going to send you to Switzerland or France. you
No,
know,
there's not a lot of calling there.
Okay.
But I think too, with the thing that also really inspired this, when we first came, we were stunned with this place. Of course, the facilities are wonderful, but the thing that meant the most was the peace and tranquility. Just having a place where people cared. We had been told about Whitestone for a couple of years before we came here. We were told it was a wonderful place for missionaries to come. We stayed away because most times you go to a place that's offering you something free, they make you feel like a second-class citizen.
I hope not here.
Oh, not here. Here we feel honored and just really appreciated here, and you don't feel that beggar feeling that's so common in that kind of thing. So it was a big blessing to come here, and you just walk on the campus and you just feel the peace of the Lord here. It's just amazing.
Well, we've had about 12,000 missionary room nights now here. It may be getting closer to 13 this year. But we ask, as we have you, to pray, the missionaries, to pray for the people in the room they stay in, that God will give them peace. And there's almost a tangible sense of peace here, I think.
There really
I've
is.
had people that were not Christians who talk about the peace of the place. And it's just been really interesting to observe people's feelings as they come onto the property. I built that drive-through barn for you to feel like you'd gotten inside the sanctuary. And that once you're inside the gates, like the city of refuge, cities of refuge in the Old Testament, it doesn't make any difference what's out there. You're safe here. And I'm glad you felt that when you came, and I know y'all have been several times. And a part of our mission is to take away that feeling that you're beggars. You guys are our heroes. We would not be here at Whitestone if it weren't for people like you that we could take care of. And we just want to esteem you, to let you know that you are our heroes, and that we want to just take you a little message from the body of Christ that you're appreciated. You're not forgotten. You're not home yet. But if we can give you just a little rest and peace while you're back in the States, I know traveling, raising money, being at home. I used to think when I was a kid growing up in a church and a missionary would come by on furlough, my family had never stayed in a motel or eaten out at a restaurant. So I thought, I'd like to be a missionary on furlough. But it's not quite that way, I think. And all the missionaries say, we're ready to go back to the field, and as busy as we are there, it'll be more restful than being here. And I don't know how we get away from that feeling of making you feel like beggars. We just have got to esteem you and lift you up, and you're going back asking for money to go to places that we don't want to go, and we don't want to do what you're doing, and we've got to support you with enthusiasm. And I pray for the body of Christ to catch a vision of really taking care of God's ambassadors. We're all called to either go or give or disobey, as John Piper said, the Great Commission. And you have gone, and we're so eager to take care of you. We want you to know that you guys have our admiration, and especially with a handicapped child, and especially in Nigeria, and especially to live under the threats that kidnappings and so forth that's going on there today.
Right.
Steve and Ruth, we're glad you're here with us and resting. You got another day or two?
We have another day.
All right. Glad you've been here.
Okay,
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.